us up with a statement. We'll take questions.
I really don't have much to say other than you saw a team that played like they were playing for something, played with great energy, played hard, competed, played together on one end, and on the other end you saw a team that acted like their season was over. The team in the blue might be the poorest coach team in the country. So we'll have 2 games left in our season if that's the way that we're going to approach things, because that is not the team that I've seen for the most part this year. But if they want to be done, they're going to be done in a couple games.
Greg, what message do you have for the team, either in the here and now, or what do you plan to tell them to try to get them out of it?
I'm a fighter. I'm a competitor. If I was on that team, I wouldn't allow it. I'd be fighting some of those guys. I'd be in their face. I'd be real honest with them and tell them exactly what I think. There's no excuse to come out the way we've come out the last 2 games, and that's probably my fault. We haven't practiced much. We've been spoiling these guys, and if you're going to play like that, you might as well practice 3 hours a day. So we'll see what happens when we get back home.
Greg, can you just talk about the Lynch's game and how much he kind of affected everything really?
He really does, and I'm down there complaining, trying to get fouls, but I thought he was upright for the most part. He's been averaging over 4 fouls a game. He's fouled out some, but obviously Dan and those guys are working on him. He's getting smarter with the way he's protecting the basket, not bringing his arms down. He's just really good, and he's going to be awfully good and tough to contend with for 3 more years in this league.
Was it a little disappointing, Greg, that early in the game you broke their zone, you found some holes in it, created a couple buckets, then a couple shots didn't fall, and then they started attacking right at Lynch, which obviously was a problem. But was that a little disappointing that seemed to be – you want to get inside touches, but you don't want to go right at, a shot blocker like that?
Yeah, you kind of do those sometimes. You want to go to them, and we talked about trying to go through them a little bit. We shot poorly again. I think we were 0 for 8 or 9 at halftime from 3. Made a couple there in the second half, but I think our troubles started off at the start of the game with defense. They were getting layups, and Zizloft, who we don't want to get an open look, gets a wide open, uncontested 3. Guys were not ready to play, and that's on me.
Yeah, they also hit, I think, 3 3-pointers in that run they had early in the game.
Yeah, they were 9 for their first 11 or something like that, and they're not a that bad shooting team. Now, they've had some games where they've shot it poorly, but I think a lot of teams have shot it like that against a Wichita and some of these good defensive teams in our league. And I really felt like our defenses had been getting better, but we certainly didn't show it tonight.
Coach, first losing streak of the year. How do you get it turned around in 1 game before St. Louis?
Good question. Come to practice tomorrow and see if you can help us a little bit, Ross. I'm a little bit of a loss. I'm frustrated, obviously, as a competitor. With 4 seniors on the team, this isn't something you do. And the guys have, to this point, have done a lot of good things, but I'm certainly not ready for the year to be over. We can practice all the way to the championship game, so that's all I got to do. Some of these guys want the year to be over. It'll be over real quick now. If they want to decide to compete and fight and come together as a team, start listening a little better, then we might have a chance here Saturday. But we've run into 2 teams these past couple games that have been playing for something, and it showed. And they wanted it worse than we had, and there's no excuse ever for that.
Greg, you said that. Are you concerned about the overall attitude of the team besides just the loss?
Yeah, I am. I really am. You've seen us throughout the year, and to start games, how you've started the last couple games, and whether it takes me going crazy on them or we've fouled the shooter more times this year than any team in history, and that's just the sign of a very, very poorly coached team. Usually you could say that once and you don't ever foul a shooter again. And then just for the lack of competitiveness and allowing something like this to happen. And that's not to take anything away from Illinois State. Shoot, they're good. You'd be 3rd in the league and make a run in the tournament. But the team that I've seen start the last couple games, it's easy to play when you're down 20. Anybody can fight, and it's easy when you're down 20. But when the game matters, and when you're playing for something, that's when competitors come forward and play tough. And you can talk about zone all you want. You can talk about missing shots all you want. There's no excuse for coming out and starting that way. And again, that's on me. Thank you, guys.